Problems with a tumbler polisher. In 2022 I bought a tumbler type polisher and I found two problems with it. The first problem was as you see in this clip, and the other problem was the drive belt, which was rubbish. This is a part from a hydrostatic lubricator, which is a type of displacement lubricator, and this is what it looked like after it had been in the tumbler polisher. The stuff that you see inside it is called the media, and this in a tumbler polisher is what actually does the polishing, but unfortunately it will get into the parts through any aperture that's physically big enough to let the individual media particles in. To remove all of the media from inside this small tank, I had to dismantle it, and even then some of the media was difficult to remove from the inlet and outlet pipes. For this reason it became apparent that a tumbler polisher in my workshop is only going to be usable for certain things. And because it does this to steam engine parts, I haven't used it for quite some time. When I first bought this tumbler polisher, I made 3 videos about it. The first one was the unboxing video, and the third one was showing the polishing procedure. And here are some edited clips from those videos. The question is, does it work, and is it going to work for a long time? I'm not too thrilled with the drive belt. I don't see why it needs to be toothed on both sides like this, because the pulleys aren't toothed. Either a flat belt or a round belt would have done the same job. And if this belt breaks, which it probably will over time, I'll fit the spare one that came with the unit, and then after that a couple of O-rings side to side. The purpose of this unboxing video is not to have a go at Chinese manufacture. After all is said and done, at least it seems to work. With the drum sat in place on the unit, first of all I throw the switch to make it auto reverse, then I set it to Entina, and whatever Entina is, it makes it go. I've set it to the lowest speed. This is on number 1, and I would think really for what I want it will be usually on the lowest speed. Here's a close-up of the controls showing the settings. I started it off on speed number 1, now it's on 2, and now I'm changing the speed to speed number 3. The good thing about this unit is it seems to be fairly quiet. The knocking you can hear is just a moulding line on the orange polyurethane rings around the edge of the unit. I've just thought of another application for this machine. It could be used for exercising an overweight hamster. In fact, my granddaughter Emily has just got a gerbil. I wonder if she'll lend me it. Perhaps not. To make it a successful exercise machine for a small furry rodent, I would have to drill some holes in the cover. The good news is the unit is not overly noisy, even when using steel balls as media. I think the media I'm going to use is this stuff. And probably this, but I can't really remember what it is. It's some sort of additive that polishes things up. It's very convenient having this unit on the kitchen table. It can't stay here. I need to use it for other things. The kitchen table, that is. I have 2 types of media to do the polishing. Both of them are slightly different, both from the same company. And I think the first one is some sort of processed corn cob stuff. The sandy coloured one I do believe to be ground up walnut shells. And both of them have some sort of an additive that helps the polishing process. While the parts were tumbling, I went away and did something else, and I came back in about an hour. I had a quick look, but the parts weren't ready. They weren't fully polished. I'm going to line up some of the polished parts around the top so you can judge for yourself. The next part out of the drum is the Stewart pressure gauge siphon, and this is looking very nice. Next to it now is one of the Twin Victoria's exhaust pipes, closely followed by the other one. The next item out of the drum is one of a pair of blowdown valves from the Simplex locomotive. The paint on these was really baked on as they fit in the bottom part of the boiler, and as you can see there's still some paint remaining. This tumbler polisher is not a sandblaster. It's not really designed to remove paint. But for the experiment I did put these parts back into the polisher for another couple of hours, along with these hydrostatic lubricator parts. These parts are fitted with glass tubing. But don't forget, this is not sandblasting or shot blasting, and ground up walnut shells in a clear plastic tumbler I don't think are going to affect the glass at all. The plastic tumbler drum is still quite transparent, so I think the glass should be okay. After locking the door in position, it was tumbling again. I did polish various parts, and 1/4-inch pipe is okay because the media is very easy to remove from down a 1/4-inch pipe, but not if it has an elbow in it. The smaller of the two hydrostatic lubricator gauges was difficult. It is extremely small. But luckily, a short while ago, I bought one of these, and it's possibly the best thing I've ever bought via Amazon. When I zoom out in this image, you can see just how small these nuts are. I put them on my phone just so I didn't lose them. So what about this screwdriver set? It's got everything. In the accessories box, there are even some spare, very small bolts for things like spectacles. And that's actually the reason I bought this set, because occasionally my glasses fall apart, particularly the workshop glasses because they do have a hard life. Eventually I removed all the nuts and here they are sat on my phone. These are so small, and if I drop them on the floor they are lost forever. This hydrostatic lubricator gauge doesn't have glass tubing, it's plastic, and one of them is broken. It's a very easy job to replace the plastic tubing. I think I prefer to replace it with glass though. The problem didn't end there. These two fittings each had a piece of media, which I think in this case was bits of ground up walnut shells, and although I blew out the first one with an airline, the second one would not move, and I had to drill it out using a 1mm drill bit in my Proxxon motor tool. Eventually I got the piece of media out of the pipe. I thought in this video I will show some of the contents of this most excellent screwdriver set. Apart from the accessories box, there's even a rubber sucker to remove things like the front screens of iMac computers. Every one of the sockets and the screwdriver bits that all slot into the handle of the screwdriver part are really good quality. Unlike the belt on the Tumbler polisher that I mentioned earlier, both of them broke very quickly and I replaced them with a 3/16 of an inch diameter silicone O-ring. Now it works perfectly and I've used it quite a lot for various jobs, and the heavy-duty steam-grade silicone O-ring is just fine. And that is it for today's offering. Stay safe, stay healthy, thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.